up, everybody? This is Sean O'Brien Smith, Baldilax. Anyway, I just want to pipe in on the internet and talk a little bit today, which is surprising most of you because I have so sucked at doing YouTube videos. But something I'm trying to do a little bit more of, a lot of demands from fans, trying to just get out and, show what I'm up to, what's going on, all this cool stuff. Talk more about coffee. I'm sure it'll happen. Anyway, but for those of y'all that have been following me on Facebook and also my other bald brother, Jamie Millard, there's been a lot of talk about this guy. And wanted to kick off the video series today, kind of talking about it. This is the Bluesman Vintage Sean O'Brien Smith Circus Freak. And I am fired up about this little guy. It's something totally different from what I've been doing. Most of you guys know that I've already got a signature model line of basses out with Ribski. Do not worry, they are not going away. We are actually pushing them very heavily. But one thing that's been cool with me over the past few years is the fact that my career is made up of three very distinct different things. It's either modern, vintage style, or upright. And what I've done is I've aligned with the right manufacturers and endorsement partners for me for each one of those. So Ribski's doing all my modern basses. They are perfection for that world for me. They are an extension of me. I love them. For big, fat, furry, I've been playing Bluesman Vintage since they started. Behind me is the first Bluesman Vintage bass ever made. This is the first Bluesman Vintage in the DeVille Plus series that was custom built for me. I've loved these guys, so, it was only logical when I needed something fat, furry, mean, aggressive, that I go with them. And what we've come up with is the Circus Freak. Partially because I'm a freak, and y'all all know that, but still. Anyway, what happened, as most people get in trouble for, they put me and Jamie Millard in a room, which usually nothing good can come of when you have two bald guys, but we have a lot of fun. Anyway, I played one of Jamie's basses with one of his crazy swirl paint jobs. I loved it. I do big stage stuff. I'm over the top. I don't mind anything that's going to capture your eye. So that started the whole ball rolling. I got with Jamie. I saw his finished work. I played his basses. I loved everything about him. And I'm like, okay, let's go there. Let's start there. But let's make something that's still uniquely me. And we've done it. What I've come up with is a hybrid. It's built off of a vintage style P-body. This guy's chambered for it's a lot more resonant than a typical old Fender. We've got a Babix full contact hardware. These guys go on every one of my custom basses that I have built for me. Babix has been a dear friend of mine for a long time, and I absolutely adore these. So we started there to give it some modern punch, a lot more clarity, a lot more sustain. We went with, on this particular one, a lined fretless ebony board, partially because, A, I like messing with people in the crowd when they start hearing tones and don't realize I'm fretless, but B, I'm getting old and I don't want to think too much, so I like having the lines there for I can just be free, not worry about it, and just go. And so, the neck is built off of a J-style profile. We have the lovely Bluesman logo as always, with now the Circus Freak and my SOS logo on the headstock, and little kind of discreet, but in a vintage traditional type of way. So that's kind of the basic overall. Of course, Jamie's ridiculously crazy paint job, which I wish you guys could see this thing in person. No photograph has done it any justice. No video's done it any justice yet. Stack knob. Love old 62 basses. Old Fenders with the stack knob. I think it was a great design. Obviously, you've got more tonal ability out of it, so I opted for that. And it's both chrome ones are the volumes for each pickup, and then we have tones for each pickup. So pickups is where I started having fun. Most of you guys know from my long affiliation with them that I'm an EMG guy. I still am. The preamps go in all my Ribski basses. My green Bluesman Vintage has got PJs in it. I love PJ setups, but I wanted something a little bit different in these. So what we've done is kind of a hybrid. It's still a P underneath this hood that you don't see. It's a single coil P. How many times do we see a single coil P bass with a J? First of all, that was a little bit different, but I like the woolliness and the fullness of the old vintage style P pickups. So we started there. So underneath here is a Seymour Duncan 1/4 pounder single coil precision pickup. This is the new secret weapon, and I blame Jamie completely, but he's right. I'm a kid of the 80s as far as growing up and really turning on to bass players. Who ruled the roost back in the day but DiMarzio? I love those old pickups. They have a very unique bite to them, so that's where we went. I have a Model J, vintage style Model J, back here in the back. They're going to go on the fretteds and the fretless basses and the double neck that is coming out later, and we'll talk about that in the coming months. But this is the Circus Freak. They are available now. They just hit market, and we have been launching. You're going to be seeing some new reviews coming out with them from different stuff. Stop talking, Sean, and play. Anyway, as you heard me when I kicked in, you know, I'm, as most of us, it's a Pistorius type of world, right? That's just the Model J. Back here, tone is wide open. You can, of course, roll off the tone and get that. Ignore any distortion you hear as I drive my studio monitors. And if you're curious, I'm running the new Tech 21 VT bass rack mount straight into the monitors. Anyway, from there, we'll roll up. Here is the single coil by itself, tone wide open. If I turn it up. Hear that nice big throaty, it's still got a little bit of attitude, but there's something just a little bit different there, and that's exactly what I was wanting. Because this tone, you can easily use it nice and pretty. Use it for a ballad if you're on a session or whatever, but you know, as most of you guys know now from my touring world, the way it's evolved, I am out there with guitar players shredding every night. So, you know, I like a little bit of aggression regardless of what I've got going on. So anyway, there's that. And then the magic, of course, with any of the PJ setups is when you start running both of the pickups. That's one thing I love about the Circus Freak in particular is the fact that I've not heard that sound out of any other bass because of the single coil P and the J. Anyway, there's the quick overview. I want to obviously thank everybody at Bluesman Vintage, John, Scott, and Jamie. You guys knocked this thing out of the park. As far as all the fans and everything, YouTube-wise, yes, Sean is going to actually get off his butt and start doing some videos. So, Baldy Lux is back. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Remember, life is too short for bad drummers and bad coffee.